This is Texans TV.
This week on the show, where do the Texans special teams head? And we have a conversation for change. That's all next on Texans 360.
We are ready to rock in Houston. Rock and roll, touchdown Texans.
A hearty hello, my friends. Good to see you. Thank you so much for watching. This is Texans 360. My name is Drew Doherty. I'm your host, and we have the voice of the Houston Texans, my good friend Marc Vandermeer, with us tonight. Because Marc, we've got a big show. We've got to go one-on-one with the head of the Houston Texans cheerleaders and find out how the tryouts are going. We also have a conversation for change, and we're going back in time to 2011. But we start things off, Marc, with the news of the week. And late last week, we heard about Brad Seeley, coordinator of the special teams, has decided to call it a career. He retires. And Marc, he leaves behind a special teams unit that over the last 2 seasons has been an absolute bright shining light here in Houston.
Drew, what a career, 3 decades in this league for Brad Seeley, and one of the great special teams coordinators ever. And as far as the Houston Texans input goes, well, the Texans over the last decade or so were inconsistent on special teams, not able to get that kind of performance they were looking for on a regular basis. But Seeley comes in, and they're at or near the top of the NFL in average drive start for defense and offense, and that's what you want to see. It's all about drive start, drive position for your D, for your offense, and Seeley helped them improve greatly in this area. He was really great here.
A remarkable turnaround indeed Seeley has engineered here with the Houston Texans. Best of luck to him in his retirement, and we're going to discuss it later on here in the show, what his retirement means for the special teams. But we turn the page now to conversations for change. Former Houston Texan first-round draft pick Travis Johnson has met with the ownership group and had basically a roundtable discussion. Here's some of that.
Well, we're here today with Travis. Been a friend since 05. Drafted him in 05, first round. Great Texan.
That was okay.
But there's been a lot of hurt in our country recently, but it's been here for a long time. And for you to come out and share your experience, I think, I said it a couple of times, it's so powerful and it really hits home. And the hope is that we get the truth out there. That there isn't just one incident, that there's just untold number of incidents, and it's not right. And we just have to change it, and this is a good step. Hopefully it makes a difference. It's hard to change the world, but we can try to make our little corner better, and hopefully this is, a move in that direction. It's our prayer.
Travis, why are you here today?
I'm here just because the Lord put something on my heart and to share with you guys. And we've been trying for years to change things. And, it's players and it's people that's been trying to change. And I really came because I respect you guys and I respect your family. And I look to you as a friend, and I look to you as a friend. I look to Miss Janice as a friend. And I was hoping and praying that this conversation would eventually help my son school my grandson. I mean, I totally believe that everybody wants to make a difference. I hope, but I know the thing is we as humans are, we sheep. So when we watch in this climate of today, and we watch our leadership in this country speak truth to the bigotry, speak truth to the oppression, speak truth to the I don't know what they're talking about. It's fine people on both sides. Like, no, there's only one side, right and wrong. I mean, we're 2 sides, right and wrong. When you asked the other day, what can we do? You asked, what can we do? And I said, and they said, well, what is it that your community needs? And I said, food. And he was like, food? And I said, I speak of food literally and metaphorically because, you know, we call it soul food. We call it food for the soul. And what it is not just being able to feed our children before they go to school, because we know the studies show you can learn more, you're gonna have a better day, you're gonna grow up healthier, you're gonna do amazing things if you can just have breakfast every morning. You know what I mean? But at the same time is what truly fuels your soul? Knowledge, like we talked about, knowledge is power. And if our schools aren't on the same level, if our inner city schools, if I go down to 3rd Ward and the elementary school in the 3rd Ward isn't the same like it is by my house in Missouri City, and those kids can't have the same schooling, then what are we doing? Because we are, like, you know, the old cliche, our children are our future. Yes, they are. But you are giving them, if you can't give them a solid education, a solid foot to stand on, if the library, if they don't have a library in their community and they got to drive 30 minutes to go to a library to be able to just read a book, to be able to take them out of what they're in, then that's a problem. The word can't is banned in my household. If I hear can't or I cannot, you got to drop and give me 200. You got to drop and beat your feet on Pine Landing and get to running if you use the word can't or can't not. All I want to hear is, how can I get it done? I want you to ask me to give you direction. And that same direction that you give your children, I necessarily can't give them the same direction of mine. Why? Because they didn't have the same opportunities. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's the beauty of this, is trying to reach across to our community and say, how can I help deliver resources? How can I help give you opportunities to succeed? Give you opportunities where if I get all these people, because your power in this city is on another level. Your power on this city is on another level. And I think you know it, Cal. I don't think you know it. I think you know it, but I don't think you know it. You know what I mean? Because people take your softness as a human being as a weakness. That's what they look at it, but I look at it as strength. You know why? Because I look like there's nowhere he can't go and be loved. Why? Because he's not some boisterous individual. He's a guy who's going, if you sit down with him and you talk to him and you learn who he is, you're going to realize he's caring, he's funny, and he's just downright a good freaking dude. You know what I'm saying? And I think that is the, to me, I can work with a good dude. You know what I'm saying? In our community, we've been burned so many times, and we've heard, I'll do this, I'll do that. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, nobody ever even admits to it being wrong. It's saying, oh, they're like, oh, maybe that shouldn't have happened like that. But those are 2 bad eggs in the bunch. Those are 4 bad eggs in the bunch. Malcolm X once said, man, if you stick a knife in my back 9 inches and pull it out 6 inches, that's not change. If you put a knife in my back and take it out all the way, that's not change. When you start to heal the wound and you admit to me that you stuck it in my back, then we can change. The acknowledgement is a start. But the fact is, a lot of people don't even want to acknowledge the problem. They want to sweep it under the rug like you were as a kid, and your mama tell you sweep the kitchen up. You sweep it off into the corner because you don't know how to use the dustpan as well. You know, so I was extremely proud of you, man, because you put yourself out there and you didn't have to.
It's important.
Yeah.
It's important.
I'm glad, man.
We're proud of you. Give me a hug.
Oh, man, of course. For you, brother.
You're gonna mess up the microphone.
The microphone, of course, man.
Proud of you.
I appreciate you, man. I'm proud of you, and you know.
Proud of you getting
And
where.
I know your mom was super proud because
It's true.
She's getting to see it, you know. I mean, the only thing proud of, man, I can only imagine, like, watching my kids, man, grow up to be the man you are, man. And I think that's every parent's dream, to just see their child be successful.
After the break, it's a magic carpet ride experience from Cincinnati. It's all next on Texans 360.
Yates gets the snap. Looking to his right, throws over the middle, caught! Touchdown, Houston! Kevin Walter with the TD reception. 2 seconds to go. The Texans can take the lead with the extra point.
An electric moment in Houston Texans history. Yates to Walter, touchdown. Texans win that and get into the playoffs. This is Texans 360, Drew Doherty. And Marc Vandermeer, I'm very envious of you because you got to go back and actually watch that game and talk about it with Yates himself. TJ Yates, a savior in 2011. That was a fun one. How much fun was it getting to take part in the rewatch?
Well, this is one of the most fun non-game day experiences I've had in the last few years, Drew. Being able to sit down, Zoom-wise, with TJ and look at this game and get his insight as to what was going on in his head, everything from what was happening on the field to his parents being in the upper deck to watch this historic game in franchise history. It was special.
What a moment. And we relived that day, or you did, with TJ Yates. So here's a snippet of that.
TJ, great to have you with us. And today we're going to rewatch the December 11th showdown, Texans at the Bengals, to clinch the AFC South for the first time. You're going to be fired up to see this one.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. Haven't revisited this in a while, so it's going to be good to go back and watch the game and relive some good old memories. I remember I was pretty nervous about this game, not going to lie. Completely overshot Kevin Walter there.
I remember the first half, things were a little shaky. It really got rolling in the second half of the Texans, but we'll get there pretty quick here.
Yeah, this is a total team win right here, man. This was super memorable. Oh, I remember that one. J.J.
Almost went the other way.
Yards. Woo! He could basically do it all here. Oh, check out that pass. What a beauty that one. And I kind of started making my way towards this certain part of the sideline away from Coach Kubiak because I knew he was about to just rip me. And he starts to meet me right in the middle. And he laid it on pretty thick. Told me what I needed to hear. But then the one thing he said to me right at the end of that is like, you better get your butt ready because we're coming out throwing the ball right after this.
Because I remember this situation very well. Like I said, it felt like maybe it wasn't going to be the day of the Texans to get this done. And then watch.
There it is. That was the spark that got us back going. Connor with that sack fumble. Brooks picking it up. Hit him on a little slip under route. Wide open. Easiest touchdown pass of my career right there.
Those guys up front. Brizell, I think, broke a leg in this game.
That is the one thing that nobody really knows. He broke his leg in like the first quarter. He comes in the halftime. His leg is crazy swollen. And he was like, tape it up. I don't care. Tape it up. And he played the entire game with a broken leg. You said we didn't have any design runs. This was one of them. Worked out well for us. I cut back inside and saw some defense, and I immediately dove to the ground.
Yeah, got to get a field goal to set up that final touchdown drive. And whoa, was he down?
I think they called it an incomplete pass. So
okay, all right.
No, we got the ball back. That's what it was.
Oh, there's the senior hockey league. Sun's out, but no guns out because it's 34 degrees.
You can still see the biceps underneath there.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. So it was a complete pass and a fumble.
Yep. So 1st and 10 deep.
And play action packs out of our own end zone there.
Okay. 3rd and 15. Gotta have it.
Gotta have it. Exactly right. A little shovel pass again.
Oh.
Look at that.
No way. Oh.
Great spot.
80 yards away, and here it is. The drive. Here's a huge play.
Oh, man.
Somehow. Deshaun Watson.
Just about half the speed here on this one, though.
How confident are you in the call here?
Oh, it was great. I saw this D-line jump out right there. Oh, man. Great. Unbelievable. We had practiced that play so much, and I knew exactly where to go with the ball. And, man, talk about a great time right there. Those guys jumping all over each other. And that's what you play the game for.
Well, TJ, thanks so much for revisiting this, reliving it with us. Great memories, and best of luck getting the team ready for 2020. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thanks so much. This was a great time.
After the break, we're taking a look at the Houston Texans special teams unit and where it heads in 2020. That's next on Texans 360. The show rolls on. Texans 360, Drew Doherty, Marc Vandermeer, the voice of the Houston Texans. And Marc, let's talk a little bit more about special teams for the Houston Texans. We know about Brad Seeley's retirement. And before he got there, and you touched on this a little bit earlier, but before he got there, for about a decade or so, boy, there were some tough times on special teams here in Houston. He comes here and instantly, field position is much, much better on both sides of the ball for the team, and it's largely in part of the special teams unit.
Well, it's an interesting phase of the game, Drew. And in the first decade of Texans history, there were some really good special teams years under Joe Marciano. Seeley comes in 2018 and improves it dramatically. We talked about average drive start for the offense, just improving where you start a drive, and for the defense, pinning the opponent back. Sounds easy, but it's not, because your punt return coverage has to be outstanding. Your kick coverage has to be outstanding. They're going to have to find a way to keep this going no matter who's in charge.
Yeah, and you think about the four specialists. Your kicker, Kaimi Fairbairn, was a scoring champ 2 seasons ago. Your punter, Brian Anger, over half of his punts were down inside the 20 last season. That was best in the NFL. You've got a good long snapper who's been to the Pro Bowl in John Weeks. And DeAndre Carter was second in the NFL last year in punt return yardage. Basically got you 10 yards every time he took one. So those 4 guys are all under contract, and you're in very, very good shape as far as that goes.
Yeah, I think when you look at Carter specifically, Drew, I mean, he's a good receiver. He's a I'm here if you need me kind of receiver. Makes a big play on occasion. That's what you want. But as far as the return game, you mentioned it. If you get 10 yards on a punt return, the fans are thinking, that's not that much. If you average 10 or 11 yards over your career, you're one of the all-time great punt returners. But consistently, he's going to get you some plus in that drive start for when you get possession after forcing a punt. And that is big. Over the course of the game, those yards are going to add up.
And what else is big are some of the unsung heroes, the guys like A.J. Moore, who the last 2 seasons has led the Texans in special teams tackles. But you got A.J. coming back, and then you've signed new guys like Michael Thomas. You know, he's going to add to the mix and just raise that level of competition, which has already been very, very high there on special teams, Mark. You're in good hands there as far as what you have in coverage, don't you?
Yeah, they've been focusing big on this in recent years, the 4th down performance, and guys who, yes, can play their positions well if needed, but they are there to really improve special teams first and foremost. And they have a number of good players. You mentioned some of them. You know, you look at guys like Dylan Cole and Brennan Starlett. Those guys play special teams. They're crucial in the overall team performance throughout a game and a season. Yeah,
we're short on time, and I left a lot of great names out that have really contributed. And they're all 4-down guys, like you said. You're a 4-down guy, too, if I have to say so. You're a 4-down guy, okay? And you know who else is a 4-down lady? None other than Casey Potter. She's the head coach of the Houston Texans Cheerleaders. And after the break here on Texans 360, we're going one-on-one with her to find out how tryouts have been. Texans 360 continues. Marc Vandermeer joins me. And hey, Marc, the Houston Texans Cheerleaders, they win no matter what every time the Texans take the field here at NRG Stadium, don't they?
Undefeated, Drew, over the course of franchise history. You can't go wrong. This is an interesting year for them with everything going on with sheltering in place. How are we going to build the cheerleading squad?
Yeah, that's a perfect lead into my conversation I recently had with their head coach, Casey Potter. Casey Potter, it's great to see you, and the Houston Texans Cheerleaders are in the midst of picking the 2020-2021 squad. What's it been like for you? Because this is a different ball of wax when you've got a COVID-19 pandemic going on.
It's been crazy. You know, we always have one of the largest auditions in the NFL, so it just changing all of that to go completely virtual has been a challenge, but it's also been exciting.
Yeah, and you started out just like you always do with a big crop of applicants, didn't you?
Yeah, over 500 came in from across the nation. It was wonderful to see how many people are interested in our program, and they know that we've got something special down here in Houston.
Yeah, you started with 500. Where are you right now as far as choosing the team, and how many are left, and what's next for those that are left?
So we started with over 500, just like you said, and they've already gone through 2 dance rounds. So they had to submit a jazz dance and a hip hop, and we just kind of dwindled it down through those 2 rounds. And now we're down to 70, and we're moving on to interviews next week.
Yeah, you must be a great dancer to be a Houston Texans cheerleader, but you can't just be a great dancer and become a Houston Texans cheerleader, correct?
No, that's just part of the package. That's the ice cream, you know? We're looking for the cone, the whipped cream, and the cherry on top. We want someone with the whole package. We want someone who's a Texans fan and going to be a great ambassador for our organization. The participants that we've had so far, you know, the hopefuls, it's been so fun watching them perform for me. That's kind of all we've done. And me and the other judges have just loved seeing their passion, because it comes through the computer, it's coming through their video device, and it's amazing to see how much they want this. And they're attacking these dances and they're ready to get the job.
You know, it's an important point you bring up, that passion and attacking things, because this is not the first time they've tried this. This is not just a, hey, I think I'll wake up and become a Houston Texans cheerleader. It's been a years-long process for many, hasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, maybe they came out last year and didn't make it to the final team, and we want that to be a motivating factor, to train all year and come back better and ready to take it this year. And I'm seeing that, and it's been so amazing. And we've had men and women participating, and everyone really just came to be a Texans cheerleader. That's all they want, and you can see it in their hearts and in their smiles even.
How hard is it choosing now that you're down to 70?
Oh, it's stressful. I can see how bad they want it, and I want it for them. You know, I got to live this dream myself, and so I know what it can mean to someone. And so it's a blessing that we get to give someone that opportunity, but it's also hard because they're going to be broken hearts. But you got to hope that they can enjoy this process and that it motivates them to come back and give it another try next year.
Well, Casey, best of luck in choosing the squad. I know it's going to be another great one, and we can't wait to see who all's out there on the field when the Texans resume play. You take care.
Thank you.
That's going to do it for this week's show. And Marc, I've said this a few times over the last few months, but thank you for coming on. But I wish you're next to me here in the studio. But I'm glad you're doing well, glad you're safe, glad your family's well.
I've been in the building a little bit, Drew, and I just can't wait to get back in. We all can't wait for football season. It's got to happen soon.
Amen to that. We hope all of you out there watching are very safe and very happy, and we can't wait to see you again soon. We'll be back next week. And if you like what you saw tonight, this is just a taste, because you can get a whole lot more on HoustonTexans.com, the Houston Texans mobile app. You can even scan a QR code like you're the Jetsons. All right, that's going to do it. For Marc, for Tyler Marcotte, who put this whole thing together, as well as his helpers Tyler Suddarth and Nicholas Patterson, I'm Drew Doherty, and we will see you next time. Go Texans. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to know when we post new content.